What is up, Jags fans? Here we are on a Friday night edition of Jaguars United film breakdown show. If you're new here, we do shows Tuesday nights and Friday nights. They're live shows at 9 p.m. It's the only way we do them around here is live. That way you can get into the comments and you can give your opinion on how you think the game will go, what the Jags will have to do to win. I looked at the last 3 games that the Titans played, and that was intentional. Now, not only did it save me a lot of time to not have to go through every single game, but I thought it was the right thing to do because of the fact that Will Levis has been playing the last 3 games. And I figured they're going to probably try to set the offense up around him since he's the starter now. No point in watching Malik Willis, Ryan Tannehill film. I don't think that would have served us any good. So we have the last 3 weeks. We have a lot of plays from the last 3 weeks. Interesting things. Titans had 1 good game, and they had 2 bad games back-to-back. We'll get into that all more here in a second. If you haven't followed the Instagram and the Twitter, go ahead and just do it. Open up on your phone, follow it. It's a good time. You can DM me. People DM me about stuff. You can at me, whatever it is, whatever the young kids are doing. I don't know. We're gonna get to the film here in a second, but before that, we got to get to the first commenter because this is a fan show. So get into the comments and let me know what you think. Charlie Boy is the first one in. Charlie Boy said first. Charlie Boy was here quick, so I think he had the notification bell on. That way he gets notifications when the live shows go live. Jason Trent fan with a picture of me as their profile picture is interesting. Said first, but not first. So that is like me to mess up like that. 100 miles per hour is the first channel member in the chat. 100 miles per hour says third. Now, that's self-awareness right there, 100 miles per hour. Self-awareness. That's probably why you're a channel member. Cam Boisvert, channel member in the chat. It was good seeing Cam this weekend. Even though the 49ers game didn't go the way that we wanted, I got to see Cam down at the slab. It was a great time down there. BT, another channel member, says not first, but go Jags. That dude Evan says bounce back game. Shay, a channel member, says, let's go Jags by 10 at least. I'm leaning toward Shay's prediction here, and not because I just blindly believe anything Shay says, which I do, but also I do think this game is going to be not close. So I'm going to take the Jags, whatever the points are, unless they get up to 10 probably. That's just me. Rico, channel member, says, what up? All right, I'm going to get some more of these comments, but I want to show some of these clips. So, first things first. Let me pull this up for you here. All right, so this was Will Levis's first game. Now, keep this in mind. Okay, keep this in mind. I will not be showing any Derrick Henry film. If I were to prioritize the importance of what this Jags defense needs to do in order to stop the Titans, number 1 is stop Derrick Henry. Let's just get that out of the way. I have a couple plays where he's in Wildcat because I like Wildcat and I want to show you guys. But I'm not showing any of these. I ended up having like 10 to 15 clips from the last 3 games where Derrick Henry was just dominating and eating. So not going to show that. We've seen that before. These are film studies that we do as Jags fans to kind of see formations, see any new tendencies that the other team may be doing to try to pick up on them. Derrick Henry running the ball down our throats and being difficult to tackle is not something we need to see other teams struggle with. We've seen it before. So number 1, stop Derrick Henry. That's the bottom line. Got to be able to tackle that guy. And again, I'm sitting here, barely 200-pound man, talking about we got to tackle Derrick Henry. The number 2 thing we have to do, we have to stop DeAndre Hopkins. Okay, so he's their next best player. Really, it comes down to Henry, Hopkins, and then Levis. Those are the only three players they have. Look at here, they're an empty set. Again, this was kind of Will Levis's coming out party. And I will say, man, again, watching the 3 games, watching every single snap the last 3 games, Will Levis has an arm, dude. Like he legit has an arm. And another thing that people don't talk about a lot with Will Levis is that he actually can make throws from a lot of different throwing angles. Okay, think about how Patrick Mahomes can kind of manipulate his release to be at any angle. Will Levis can do that. And like not only can he like whip the ball at a weird side throw angle, but the ball will go like 50 yards. So I legitimately think if the Titans set him up with weapons around him and most importantly, an offensive line that can block, because they struggle on the offensive line. It's been a revolving door. They could be pretty good. Now, the defense isn't any good right now, but their offense could be. I mean, Will Levis, I mean, the AFC South have the real deal quarterbacks. Trevor Lawrence is the real deal. C.J. Stroud, I think we're all pretty sure is the real deal. I know he's still a rookie. Will Levis, we've only seen 2.5 games out of him, but he looks like the real deal in those 2.5 games. Like, just the little things that he can do. And then Anthony Richardson's the biggest question mark. I personally like Anthony Richardson. I love his skill set. If I were a coach, that'd be the type of quarterback that I'd go after. And, whatever you may be saying, whatever, because he went to Florida. But in reality, I mean, he's a Lamar Jackson type, right? And so Lamar Jackson, when he's at his peak, we saw on Thursday Night Football, when he's at his peak, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Like, he is. If he can, I mean, staying healthy is the thing. So, not much to break down here. Great route by DeAndre Hopkins. The Falcons only rushed 3, so the Titans were able to kind of give him some protection, and they score a touchdown here. All right, here's Hopkins on a slant, and, like, they're backed up. Like, this is scary territory right here, okay? Scary territory. You're inside your own 10. You got to be careful, especially if you're throwing the ball. DeAndre Hopkins is going to release from the slot to the left right here. And, like, this is one of their... Oh, Mally's dad donated $4.99 through Super Chat. Thank you, Mally's dad. Appreciate that. It's always humbling when you guys... Duval TV donated $10 through Super Chat. He says, appreciate all the awesome breakdowns. I got to move this so I can read it. It went away. Appreciate all the awesome breakdowns and energy you bring to us. You are awesome to have in the Jags community. Keep on rocking, bro. Duval, it was always the Jags. Bro, Duval TV, thank you, man. $10. You guys are nuts. You guys are nuts. I would do this for no money. Y'all realize that, right? YouTube slides me a little bit of money because I'm over 1,000 subscribers. Just enough so I can tell people that I'm a YouTuber, right? But again, would not do this for the money. So I appreciate you guys, the people that give through Super Chat, the channel members, and the people in the chat. All right, DeAndre Hopkins in the slot here. This is before I got distracted. This is one of their go-to plays. Okay, you can't clip everything. This is one of their go-to plays. Nice. I mean, just a little delayed release. Levis will look for him the entire play. You'll see on like a couple more of these, like he's staring down Hopkins the entire time, and that's fine because Hopkins will get open. So if you can buy the time to throw it to Hopkins, it's going to be a tough cover. I mean, with Campbell out, it's going to be a lot harder to get one of our better players on him, right? So I know Darius Williams could line up and match up with him, but like we know watching the Jags, they never do that. They just kind of play left and right. So I don't know. He's going to be a tough cover. We're going to have to get to Will Levis. Here's why. Will Levis has played 2.5 games. I kind of already talked about that. So his first game, he came in and he played against the Falcons. He went 19 for 29. He had 238 yards and 4 touchdowns in that game. So 238 yards is a good amount, especially considering I don't think he started the game. And then 4 touchdowns, just made great throws in the red zone and had some deep bombs like the one we just saw. Great game. But if we look at the last 2 games, okay, the last 2 games that the Titans have played, against the Bucs and the Steelers, okay, against the Bucs, he was 19 for 39, only 199 yards and 1 interception, and he started that whole game. Against the Steelers, he was 22 for 39, 262 yards and 1 interception, no touchdowns again. So in the last 2 games, like I know there's a lot of hype around Levis, and like I just talked about how I like him. In the last 2 games, he's thrown for 41 completions, 461 yards, and 2 interceptions and no touchdowns in the last 2 games. I clipped a lot of Bucs film because the Bucs defense is a lot like ours. I'll get to that in a second. Derrick Henry, okay, against the Falcons, the game where they went off, he had 22 carries, 101 yards, over 100 yards. Against the Bucs and the Steelers, in both of those games, he had 99 yards combined, only 28 carries and 1 touchdown. So in the last 2 games, he hasn't really done anything either. DeAndre Hopkins against the Falcons had 3 touchdowns, 128 yards, okay, on 4 receptions, 4 bombs. But in the last 2 games, the Bucs and the Steelers, he's had a total of 7 receptions for 87 yards. So the last 2 games, the Titans have not looked very good. Or if you stop Derrick Henry and DeAndre Hopkins, you can stop the entire team, which I think is kind of what I'm trying to say. Here's Hopkins again on a slant. Again, this was their good game against the Falcons. They had an insane game against the Falcons. Lined up here in the trips right out to the bunch. In the bunch out to the right here. They're going to be tight at the line of scrimmage. We're going to do a little pre-snap motion right here. Again, Hopkins is just going to run this killer slant right here. Maybe it's a drag. I mean, you can call that a drag, I guess. An inside release. I mean, but again, it's hard to chase this guy. It's hard to pass him off through the zone. He gets passed off to a Mike linebacker. And he has no shot. Now, Aluakon's our Mike linebacker, so maybe Aluakon has a better shot at this than this Falcons linebacker. And then just a poor angle from that safety there for the touchdown. Here's something else they may do with DeAndre Hopkins, and this is against the Steelers, obviously. They're lined up. They run the ball a lot. They do a lot of heavy run. They do a lot of play action out of it. So here they are in a pretty heavy set. They have 2 tight ends. They have 1 running back. He's under center. They're cheat and run all the way. And keep your eye on DeAndre Hopkins right here. Screen, and he wants to throw this. Smart move. I know a lot of receivers would try to throw that in this moment. Like, this is their moment to make the throw. DeAndre Hopkins is smart about not throwing this because this safety would have picked it off. So watch what he can do with the ball in his hands. I mean, that play was doomed from the beginning, and he does a really good job of making something out of nothing. Now, he's a great player, so he's going to do this type of thing, but just the screen pass here allows him to pick up, ends up being, almost 5 yards on that play? Not bad. All right, let me get to some of these comments, and then I'm going to move on to the Titans offense as a whole that doesn't really involve DeAndre Hopkins. Isaiah Jones says it's 9:04. Chase, I already got that. Magic says, I agree, Jags by 10, 27-17. I'd be surprised if the Titans score 17 points on us. Shay says, the AFC playoff picture looks different after this past week. And what he's referring to is obviously the injuries of Deshaun Watson and Joe Burrow, because 2 teams, the Browns and the Bengals, are no longer in contention. So I think one of those teams will definitely fall out of contention. I could definitely see a backup coming in Cleveland and them still being a playoff team. So I know I forgot their starting quarterback's name. He's got 3 names, right? He's starting this week. We'll see what happens. The Steelers and Mike Tomlin the Browns find a way to win, for sure. Care Bear Sheriff says Chazon redemption arc starts Sunday. Care Bear, I like that. Brett Zimmerman says, yo, Jags United. What up, Brett? How's everything going? I hope Brett was YouTubing at one point or podcasting. I hope you're still doing it, Brett. Shay says, Titans fans were so sure Levis was better than Trevor after that first game. Curious to see what the film says about him. I'll admit, dude, he's I mean, I like Levis. I'm not going to lie. Let's see what we can find here. So this is like what I was talking about. Like, they'll line up in this like run heavy formation here, right? So they have a tight end in the backfield at this H-back position. They have another tight end in the game. So, 21 offset I, right? 21 offset I. Then they have 2 tight here. Like, they know they can't protect Will Levis. I mean, they've had a revolving door at tackles. Andre Dillard was their left tackle like most of the season. And he has a concussion. He's not playing. I think the offensive line gets better with whoever the backup is. And now, I know again, I don't talk crap about professional athletes because all of these professional athletes play football at the highest level. But what you judge professional athletes on is not talent, because they're all talented. I promise you they're all talented. What you judge them on is consistency. Can you put together a lot of good games in a row, right? You'll see these players like do great, then they'll have a bad game. Do great, then have a bad game. And like that's not consistency. And you can't make it in the NFL without consistency. And really that's a life lesson. Not going to go off on it, but consistency is actually more important than talent. So keep that in mind, okay? So Andre Dillard hasn't been able, was not good this year. They're going to be weak at the tackle spot. There's a chance Josh Allen gets 4 sacks this week. Not kidding you. I think legit could go off this week. All right, so watch. They're going to be a max protect. Someone on YouTube said, on the YouTube comments, said that I need to play the play before I start talking about it. All right, so I'll try to be better about that. All right, I'm going to play the play. Okay, so I don't have this from the end zone, which I hate because I didn't even think about it till now. But here they are in a max protection. They're going to do play action because they do a lot of play action. And they do actually end up releasing this tight end here. So they do have basically two receivers set here. Watch Levis's arm angle here. Like, this is not a natural arm angle, but he still whips the ball. I could have put that one in the DeAndre Hopkins folder. Look at that. All right, here's him whipping the ball again. Like, this should have been an interception, but watch him freaking whip the ball in. Watch this. Yo. I guarantee you, boys, none of you in the chat are catching this ball. I promise you. I promise you none of y'all are catching that ball. And if you're in there thinking like, nah, I would have caught that, you're lying to yourself. You're absolutely lying to yourself if any of you think you could have caught that ball. No chance. He ended up not intercepting it. I don't know if I played it out. No chance at all. That dude Evan says, where's your seats at the game? So I'm very fortunate. You guys have seen my boy Mike. He's been on the channel a couple times. It's been a while. I've been trying to get him on. A very knowledgeable football guy. His family has season tickets. I get to go with them every week, and they sit in section 126. So that's where we're at. We're close to Shea. We're on the opposite side of the field, but we're still a little close. Sigrin88 says, every time I see Chazon make a play live, I immediately think of Jason and laugh. Okay, I don't want to be tied to a player. I don't. There's people on Twitter that like they make it their life's mission to I guess I've become that. I'm not trying to make it my life's mission to get Clavon on the field. I promise you. I was just trying to convince everybody to give him a little more time. That's all I was trying to do. You guys know me. I stick up for the players. I stick up for the coaches. I'm the last one to jump off the train on these players. I'm getting there with Clavon. I could just see him developing like every year. He's still so young, man. People don't realize that he was so young when he got drafted. And like, he's the type of player that could go on to another team and like and contribute. I really legitimately think that. I don't think it'll be with the Jaguars, obviously, but I think he'll go somewhere and contribute. But thank you, Sigrid. I need to get a Chazon jersey. I need to get him to sign it. Isaiah Jones says, makes sense considering Mike Caldwell came from Tampa Bay. Yeah, so, I mean, we run the same defense as the Bucs, and a couple plays I'll show when I get to the Titans defense. Our offense looks very similar to the Bucs defense. I don't know why. It does. I mean, it looked a lot like the Jags offense in this one game that I watched. I haven't watched any more Buccaneers games, but in this one game, it looked a lot like the Jags offense, and I'll show you here in a second. Okay, this is a little funky. We already saw them try to do a little double pass. Look at this little 3rd and 1 play. I mean, Okwonkwo drops like a wide open ball in this Falcons game, but hey, I mean, the Jags got to be ready now. I mean, the mayor here gets a little confused on where the ball's at. Yeah, so yeah, it's a fancy little play right there. Again, I'd run that type of play. I like that. Okay, here's a 1st down play, and this is what I was kind of talking about with play action. This is first down, so you're expecting the run. You're crowding the box because it's first down. You know that Tennessee has Derrick Henry, the king, and you know they're going to want to try to run the ball. So you're going to put 8 guys in the box. You're going to man up on the outside. You're going to have 1 high free safety. This is what every team does, okay? You have to because Derrick Henry is that talented of a football player. So this is what they'll do on first down, right? And this is why you got to be careful if you're a Jaguars defensive back, okay? So I'm going to play it through. I'm going to rewind it and talk about it. Play action. Now, he overthrows him. I should have said that. He overthrows him. Okay, but, I mean, look what they're able to do here. Watch the linebackers and everyone just bite on this run. And then now you're in press man. You have 1 high free safety. The safety should have really been in better position because all he's reading is 2 and then the 1 on this side. So if you're a safety, you're just reading this little triangle right here. Your only threats, well, I guess you have 3 threats, I guess. 3 vertical threats. But you got 15 yards. He's really worried about getting over the top here, I think, on DeAndre Hopkins. And gives up this post route that ends up going toward the sideline. So watch the linebackers all bite. Okay, so we have play action. The play action just happened, and look at where everybody is. This is what makes them a good team right here. They can do this, and they abuse play action. They'll run play action, then throw a screen a lot, and they'll do this to you. They'll do this to you now, and it works sometimes. Like again, if they had better players, I don't think Mike Vrabel is the problem. I just think they need better offensive linemen. It doesn't every team. Then they need a couple more playmakers on offense. Good release right here. This is Nick Westbrook. Nick Westbrook's a good little player now. He's a good little player. Kind of reminds me of like Allen Hurns a little bit. Like just solid route runner with more speed than you'd think, and comes down with the ball if you hit him in the hands. So you just gotta, well, maybe he should have caught that. 100 miles per hour says, you know what? I'm a changed man. I will stop hating on Chazon if he gets a sack this game. Okay. 100 miles per hour. Listen, I'm just here to try to bring a different perspective. That's it. That's it. And again, I appreciate you guys being here. What a day. What a Friday. Long week for me. I think it was a long week for everybody because the holidays are next week. And I think the week before the holidays are always the longest week. Tyler Lockett, says Isaiah Jones. That's a good comparison. I was trying to think of a Jaguar player, but Tyler Lockett is a more accurate comp. 100 miles per hour also says, people don't know Will Levis has one of the best arms in the NFL. I like Will Levis's arm. I do. All right, this is interesting, and this is I know I promised not to show any Derrick Henry plays, but I'm not clipping this for Derrick Henry. I'm clipping this because Jeffrey Simmons comes in motion and lead blocks. I don't know. Mike Vrabel obviously is going to do this type of thing. If anyone's going to do it, he will. And Derrick Henry kind of wills his way into the end zone. The Steelers actually had him stopped short. You can see it better from the sideline, but he gets into the end zone. They call it a touchdown. Got a tackle. Here's Derrick Henry in the oh no, not Derrick Henry. Here's Tyjae Spears, who was actually a very good receiving back. It was weird. Okay, let me show the play. I'm trying to be better at this. I'll show the play. Okay. So Tyjae Spears is actually a really good receiving back. And the first time that I saw him like bust off a long gain on a pass play, I was like, okay, don't really know who that guy is, so whatever. Then I get like into the second half of that game, same thing happens again. And I was like, dang, I wonder if I should start clipping these because he's actually kind of a threat. Next game, he does it again. And I was like, all right, well, he's kind of going off as a receiving back. He gets the ball in the backfield on screens and on like dump down passes, and he can pick up a lot of yards. I was like, but I'm not going to go back and find those plays and then clip them. So this is probably going to be the last time that it happens, so I'm not going to clip it. Then it happens again. And I was like, okay, all right, this dude is actually like a decent player. He's a great change of pace back to Derrick Henry. Obviously, he's a different type of runner than Derrick Henry. You can tell by this play. But they'll run this freaking Wildcat, and they'll run Derrick Henry at Wildcat. And then so now they've taught Will Levis, they've taught Tyjae Spears, and they've taught Derrick Henry how to take a snap at a shotgun and run a read option. Now, I'm sure they're not reading. I'm sure the play is pre-called. But still, they've taught them to hand the ball off because he will hand this ball off. I think there's a play of Derrick Henry. I don't know which one it is. Derrick Henry and Wildcat right here. How do you fall for this? Oh, yeah, Derrick Henry's going to toss it out. Okay. Hey, listen, it works. And in live bullets, it's tough. What a tough dude to bring down. Here's him do it again. Again, they're just in that 21 set gun. He actually hands the ball off there. You got to be ready, man. Vrabel's not afraid to throw some trick plays out there. They're going to be funky. They're going to do some weird things. I mean, this is Derrick Henry just literally running an inside zone. So, I'm not going to show any more of these. I had 2 plays where Andre Dillard gives up sacks, and he's the left tackle. We'll just watch this. I mean that's bad. Watch this. Watch his reaction time, left tackle. My boy needs to go on the silent count or something. Here's him again, left tackle. And I saw on the Steelers subreddit, they were like dumping on him. They do not like him. But he has a concussion and he's not playing. So it doesn't really matter for us because he will not be in the game. I'm backed up on comments, which I love. So give me a second. Okay, sorry. Kevin Thibodeau says, Matt Jones? Oh, yeah, Hearns. LOL, but for real, I like Westbrook. Yeah, Nick Westbrook's a good player. Matt Jones, come on. Matt Jones is one of my favorite. Listen, you guys know. Here I am talking about myself. Look at this. Look at this. I got to show you guys something. You guys are going to die at this. Okay. The 49ers fans came in on these comments, and they were like, This my last video, my 49ers breakdown video, was one of my most watched. It had like 2.6 thousand views in like 3 days. The 49ers fans all watched it because they all got in the comments after it was published. They were all really positive. I mean, Niners fans were super positive. People saying things like the Jags are a good team. The Jags had a bad game. Like the 49ers had a good game. They're both good teams. Like you guys have a good coach. You have a good quarterback. So many good comments. I mean, this guy says things respectful, nuanced, and balanced. Wow, those are words that I love to see. And so look at this guy right here. This is from Gary Ginker, 1937. Now, I'm hoping he wasn't born in 1937, although his comment makes me think maybe he was. It's this 49ers fan here. The commentator, which is me, talks about himself so much. Do I do that, boys? Do I talk about myself a lot? I feel bad now. I feel bad because that's not my goal. That's not my goal. I'm sorry. He says, I came here for some wholesome gloat and couldn't stay because he is so boring. I'm boring, boys. I'll take it. I'll take it. You know what, Gary Ginker, 1937? I'll try to be less boring. I'll try to be less boring. I replied, it's a bad habit. Oh, okay. It's a bad habit. I can't help it. All right. Let's look at the Titans defense here. All right. This caught me off guard again in the Steelers game. This is going to be a 2-play sequence, okay? So one is the second time it shows the play in the all-22s from the end zone, and then the first time it shows from the sideline. So this is going to be play 1 and then play 2. And tell me if anything looks familiar to you. Deontay Johnson screen. 'Next play. Very next play. 'Next 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 Deontay Johnson screen. They ran the exact same wide receiver screen back to back, and it worked. So the Jags love the wide receiver screen because they struggle running the ball up the middle. So this is a good sign for me. It's a good sign to see that maybe even with Press Taylor calling the plays the way he did against the 49ers, we still may have success. Timmy Devil says offense does not inspire confidence, United. I'm not mentally prepared at all. It's like they don't have any juice, man. Like they had no juice at the 49ers game. Like I said this in the 49ers show. 49ers are out there dancing around, getting hyped to the music, and the Jags are out there like it's a business trip. Like you got to have some energy. You got to have some juice if you're going to be successful. I think that's what you mean, Timmy Devil. And then Timmy Devil also goes on to say, us not being able to score at will is actually pathetic. It's hard to score at will in the NFL. We get spoiled by these teams like the Chiefs, the Bills of a couple years ago that can just kind of move up the ball up and down the field anytime they want. It's hard in the NFL, man. They get paid too. XD Gamer says, I can wear my Lawrence. I can't wear my Lawrence jersey anymore because every time I wear the jersey, we lose. Examples are week 10 through 2. So XD Gamer, let me just try to discourage you from getting caught up in your own superstition because there was probably a 3-year period that every home game I went to, the Jags lost. But to be fair, the Jags won a total of 2 home games over 3 years during that era. So yes, I may have been a bad luck charm, but then again, the offense never won. The team never won at home. So let me just discourage you from getting caught up in those superstitions. If it's a Trevor Lawrence jersey you like, by all means, wear it. 100 miles per hour says Jeffrey Simmons looks like he spent the offseason eating ramen and Cheetos. Care Bear Sheriff says, how much of Trevor's performance do you think is injury related? Like Doug said, you watch a lot of film. Are the Jags doing as much bootleg the last few games? So there hasn't been a lot of bootleg. And we've talked about on this show that Trevor rolling out to his left is actually one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, which is weird because he's right-handed. But something about that makes him elevate his game. He hasn't done much of that. Now, he has been able to, scramble. We haven't seen, a lack of scrambling. Earlier in the season, he was doing it a lot, but then he got injured. So, you got to stick in the pocket because it just, we look at these quarterbacks who pick up a lot of yards with their legs. Lamar Jackson. He gets injured a lot. Now, people like Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen's a bigger player, but Patrick Mahomes, he's smart about getting out of bounds and sliding. He never gets hit. So I think Trevor is in that window now where he's no longer the guy who's going to take on the hit like he used to be. He's a fearless quarterback in the way that he throws and the chances he takes down the field with his arm and the way that he runs. And he needed to kind of chill out a little bit on his runs. And I've been saying that for a long time. So if that's the type of guy he has to be now because of his injury, that's fine. But we'll see. It's hard to know. He's definitely stayed in the pocket more, and maybe that is part of it. 100 miles per hour says Spears is really good. I'm really backed up on comments, guys. I'm sorry. Shay says, I had high hopes for Spears in fantasy this year. He's going to be good, though. He is going to be good. The Titans are going to be good. I hate to tell y'all, and I'm not rooting for it, but I'm just telling you they are. The Titans are going to be good. The Texans are going to be good, and the Colts will probably be good. So I say bring it on, man. Let's take on the best of the best. Is there going to be some, bloodbath battles to the playoffs? Yeah, but we see that in divisions all over the place. AFC North was a bloodbath until Joe Burrow got hurt. How long was the AFC West a bloodbath in the 2010s? The AFC West is a bloodbath, so that's what comes with being a good team. If you're the Chiefs, if you're the Dolphins, if you're the 49ers, that's what you got to do to win. Timmy Devil says, false starts, illegal shifts, and delay of games. It's bad, United. I think that was just a bad game. I'm going to reserve my pessimism, Timmy, until after Sunday. Cam says, the boys are on COD, so I'll rewatch later. Go Jags and F the Titans. On COD, huh? Like, I love how, like, I mean, I don't know. I can't. I mean, I have owned every COD that's ever came out, and I don't mean that in like a hypothetical sense. Like the original Call of Duty, the World War II game, Finest Hour. It's probably on like PlayStation or Xbox One. I don't know what it was. Had that. I've had them all. I don't have this one yet, but I'll get it when it goes on sale. Because that's what you do when you're an adult. You wait till the game goes on sale, then you get it. 100 miles per hour says, I wanted Spears over Tank Bigsby. People were low on Spears because he tore his ACL in college. So I guess a lot of you were like aware of him. I wasn't really that aware of him. Timmy says, told you last week on the live stream that I didn't feel good and we got stomped. I'm getting the same. Stop it, Timmy. Stop it. I'm not reading that whole comment. If you can bull rush, you can beat Dillard. Oh, yeah. Don't change a damn. So now we're getting to the comments. Sorry, I'm so backed up. You guys are just now commenting on the YouTuber. I'm sorry. Chase says, don't change a damn thing about you. I'm not Chase. I don't care what people on the internet say about me. Are you kidding me? Listen, don't care at all. And again, I think it's just part of being old. When you're my age, dude, your pride just goes down and down and down. You just don't care anymore. I don't have time to care. And you guys don't have time to care. And that's why you agree with me. It was probably a Russian bot. Putin probably like had some like software to send directly to me to try to discourage me. That's what I think. Kevin Thibodeau says he missed out on the life lessons. Bro, Kevin, that's what we do. That's what we do. I had one, and I was going to do a life lesson at the beginning of this show, but I chose not to. And now I feel bad about it. I'll save it for Tuesday. Do not fold to an outsider, United. I'm not folding on him. I think Kevin's right. He missed out on the life lessons for sure. Shay says, so you're saying I should bet my entire house on the Josh Allen over-under half-sack prop if I were allowed to bet. Shay, I don't think your family would be happy about you betting your house on that. But if you wanted to have two houses, I think you should do it. I mean, yeah, your family would be pissed if you lost the house, but how happy would they be if you had two houses? Remember, Vegas wants you to quit gambling. They want you to quit, so you got to keep going. Timmy says Conquay always seems to have a good game against us. All right, let me play some plays here because I'll get back on the comments here in a second. Here's Bijan Robinson just like running the ball in the middle against they're not a good tackling team. They're just not they don't take good angles. They don't tackle well. Now, hopefully they continue that trade against us. Teams seem to just elevate their game against us for some reason, but they're not a great tackling team. They don't take good angles. The safety doesn't even touch them. Not great there. I showed the back-to-back Deontay Johnson screens. Here's Baker Mayfield on a play action on another screen. So this is what I was saying is like the Jags offense could be decent against this Titans defense. If they called the same game plan they called against the 49ers, they may be fine because the Titans seem to struggle with that type of play calling. Here's one of my favorite route concepts. And this was a really good recognition by Baker Mayfield. So here you're going to see these two receivers lined up tight to the left. They're in, I'll call it 10 gun. He could be a tight end. I don't know. 10 gun, though. One running back, no tight ends. And what you're going to see here is they stick with this play. I mean, this is a cover 3 beater. It could be a cover 2 beater, but you have a vertical route here. And then you have a dig route. This is actually a vertical. And a dig route. So it could open up against a cover 3. So if we can protect Trevor enough to get this play off right here. So if you'll see, watch the inside receiver run off the safety. I mean, the safety has to cover that. But they rolled into a cover 3, and now this deep dig is going to be wide open. Now, the only way this deep dig becomes open, because this is a deep route. 15-yard route right here. You got to have time in the pocket. If the O-line can hold up, this stuff will be there all day. All right, and he scores here. I know what you're saying. Well, duh. If you hold up against the defense, then you're going to have time to throw. I know. My bad. Here's empty set against the Titans. Against the Bucks. Again, the Jags do a lot of empty set here. Not really sure what kind of coverage they're in. I went back and forth between if it was like some sort of like zone match or a man match or a split coverage. Like, I wasn't sure. I don't know if they split the field and played one coverage on this side and one coverage on this side, or if they played like a zone here because there was 2 to the boundary and they played some sort of man here because they were to the field. I really don't know. I'm not in their huddle. But whatever the defense is, the Titans don't do it. And here's why I'm confused here is because 33 gives this like man call right here at the snap. Watch this. So watch 33. He's going to look to the safety. They're trying to, like, they're all talking. They're all talking, figuring out how to cover this trips out here to the boundary. And then 33 is going to be like, yo, I got him in man. And 21's like, yo, I got him. So they kind of figure out they're going to play man here on the backside, but they play zone here. I'm sorry, on the open side, they play man. And on the backside, they play some sort of zone, which allows, again, the dig middle of the field to come wide open. Watch him here. Man call. There you go. Not bad. Here's Levante David looking very impressive. Like, I wanted to be like, oh, the Jags will do this, but this is where Trevon Walker or Josh Allen would line up because you have 3 down linemen and then 2 edge. This is more probably of a nickel. I mean, I don't know, an edge or a nickel, but you got 2 edge players right here. And watch Levante David sink and then come back to the. I mean, we don't have an edge rusher that can do this, but Levante, this is just if you can. We've been doing a lot of this zone drop recently. I mean, that's a bad throw by Levis. Like, Levis does not see him at all. Watch him again. I mean, that's on Levis. That really is on Levis. Here's the Steelers. Again, kind of running up the middle of the field on the Titans. They don't do a good job with inside gap integrity. Don't do a good job tackling, like always. So, 100 miles per hour says, I'm not a Press Taylor hater, but you can't tell me that if Doug was calling plays, the 49ers game would have been different. Cali Jag says, we were doing a damn good job of scoring last season. I don't know what to tell you. 100 miles per hour says the exact stat is they have ran 2 bootleg plays since the knee via John Shipley podcast. Wow. Agreed. We could score for the last year. It looks like this year is not the same. Andrew says the reason we aren't doing great on offense is because we take 0 deep shots. We're in the bottom of the league in deep shots. Volkfang, who's a channel member, says better late than never. That is true, Volkfang. It is better to be late than never. Showing up is maybe that'll be our life lesson. This will be our life lesson. A lot of times in life, it's really, again, about this kind of. We did have a life lesson earlier. We talked about consistency. I teased it. Okay, showing up, right, is 75% of the battle, and if you show up, you're consistent. That's our life lesson, boys. That's it. More than talent, be consistent. If you're gonna say you're gonna be somewhere, be somewhere. If you're gonna have a job, show up every single day. That's it. That's it. Be consistent. Consistency is actually one of my favorite things to talk about, especially when I talk to young athletes. Composure is another big one. I really tell them composure and consistency. If you can kind of conquer those 2 things, then you'll conquer most things in life. If you can keep your composure and not get emotional in situations, and you can be consistent in everything that you do, that's set up for a good life right there. And that'll be the end of our life lesson. But seriously, a lot of young people watch this show. I talk to young people all the time, like, oh, I watched your show. Great. I'm glad. Hear that. Be composed. Be consistent. 100 miles per hour says, I bought the new COD, sadly. You got duped 100 miles per hour because they're the same game. They're like Madden. They're the same game every year. More houses is better, says Volkfink. Shay, see? Chris W. Can't be about the Jags. I don't know what that is. I'm sorry, Chris. Tried to read that. I couldn't. Volkfang says, you know what they say, 99% of gamblers stop just before they hit it big. Exactly. 100 miles per hour says, we suck because we don't adjust game plans. Yeah, our halftime adjustments have not been good. I will That's a good point, Volkfang. It's something we have not talked about a lot on this show. But they don't look any different coming out of the half. In fact, they usually look worse coming out of the half. Montana says, I'm at work, but I'm just stopping in to say good evening, gentlemen. Thank you, Montana. I appreciate that. That means a lot. You guys don't know how much it means to me when y'all are like, yo, I'm popping in, I'll watch later. Or I'm late, I'm here. That means a lot to me. I appreciate that, guys. Thank you. All right. We're 49 minutes in, so I'm going to have to rapid fire these clips. That's how we always do it around here. Again, like Gary 1937 said, I talk too much. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be better. All right. Here's the Steelers running an inside zone. Again, back to the inside of the defense. The interior defense is not strong for the Titans. A lot of teams scored on them doing this. Just no push there. Absolutely no push. Here's again, going back to they can't really tackle well either. I mean, this is Tier Tart misses the first tackle. Danico Autry misses the second tackle. I mean, that's not great. It's not great right there. I mean, you had him in the backfield, 2, 3, 4 missed tackles. 5, 6 missed tackles on one play. Here's something the Jags might expose right here. Roger McCreary, their defensive back, did not have a good game against the Bucs. Watch on the top of your screen here. Okay, he's gonna be at the top of your screen. He's lined up here in man coverage. Okay, I think they consider him to be their best corner right now. Gives up the inside release. Now, I know this is a hell of a catch. Like, I get that. Like, that's a great catch. And, like, if it were just this play, I would be like, all right, good. I say this all the time. Good catch, good pass is impossible to stop. When you're a defensive back, if it's a perfect throw and a perfect catch, you cannot stop that. There's probably not much that McCreary could have done to stop this play right here. Nonetheless, they pick up a chunk yardage on him. That's how I would have normally ended this segment. But then the very next play, I think they call a penalty. The very next play. Maybe it wasn't the next play. But this happened later in the game. And I know what you're going to say. Mike Evans is an insane receiver, and we don't have a Mike Evans on our team. Fair. But again, Roger McCreary in man coverage just gets absolutely dusted. So, you know the Jags are watching this, and you know they saw this. So, I hope they try this. And this kind of goes back to the last commenter's point of, like, we don't push the ball down the field very well. We need to. Yeah, even if you have to max protect. If you got to get Brenton Strange, Brendan Ingram, Luke Farrell, and you got to call up the D tackle from Rutgers from the practice squad to play fullback, let's get it off here. Volkfang says you can't adjust if you can't execute. They need to execute better in order to be able to make adjustments. Shay says it looks like Zay might be playing. He is practicing more. I did see that. He was listed as questionable, which is better than out. 100 miles per hour says maybe it's time to try my Trayvon at tight end and method. Maybe. If he was playing with Mike Vrabel's team, he would be playing some offense. I guarantee you. Andrew says yes, he will play more card games while in a cell. So I don't know who you're talking about, Andrew, but maybe. 100 miles per hour says McCreary being your best anything is not good. Oh, Andrew says I'm saying Zay will be playing cards. Okay. Andrew, we already have one pessimistic commenter around here. Timmy Devil is already here. It's almost a lot for Timmy Devil. If you want to take on the realist role as a commenter, I'm okay with it. I have no problems with it. So good luck. I don't think Zay Jones from what I've heard, is in any real legal problems. Now, the NFL may have some things to say about that because this is his second time getting in trouble with the law. The NFL and really every major sports organization does have a domestic abuse problem. So they may come down on him because of that. I know that David Stern, the commissioner of the NBA, was being questioned by, what's his name? Charles Barkley, live on TV about the NBA's domestic issues that they have, domestic violence issues. You know, professional leagues are taking notice, and hopefully some details will come out, and the NFL will do their due diligence, and hopefully he'll be fine. Because from all accounts that I've heard from people that know him, he's apparently a really good guy. Nobody's perfect, but from all accounts, he is a good guy. 100 miles per hour says, besides speed, what skill does he have? Oh, I mean, I don't know. Guess you're right. Okay, so I was kind of sandbagging a bit, boys. They actually do have a Pro Bowl player on their team. And I'm not kidding. Like, I'm not being facetious. I'm not pulling your leg. They legitimately will have a player that's a Pro Bowler. Guaranteed. Lock it up. Punter Ryan Stonehouse is averaging like 58 yards a punt. Not kidding you. Leads the NFL in net yards per punt. Number one in the league. So I actually saw that stat before I started watching the film. So I clipped a couple of punts just to see. Because again, looking like a Pro Bowler. Here's the first punt. And admittedly, it's his most impressive. He's standing on the 21-yard line. All right. Doesn't even really follow through that much. Like, for a punter, like, you remember punters back in the day would, like, swing their leg above their head? None of his punts do that. But he's standing at the 21, and watch where this punt lands. Maybe he punts from the 26. I think lands at the 6-yard line. Okay. Punt 2. Again, against the Falcons. Again, doesn't follow through. And just blasts the ball to the 6-yard line. Okay. He's going to end up punting this from like what, the 33 or 27. Can't do math. Catch it at the 6. Not bad. Not bad. Here against the Falcons again. Standing at the punts from the 23. Lands at the 19. Bounces to the 12. Not a bad punt right there. And then again against the Falcons. Same spot. Doesn't even fully get his leg all the way through. Like, seems like he's taking some off of it. And punts it through the end zone. So, yes, an 81-yard punt. Doesn't even follow through all the way, and that ball is in the end zone. So, I told you guys, they have a Pro Bowler now. They do have a Pro Bowler on their team. 100 miles per hour says, John Shipley said Zay Jones will play this week, then deleted it right after. I don't know if that was a report or a guess. Huh. That's funny. I mean, I've deleted tweets before. But they're always tweets that I tweeted when I was up way too late, hanging out at places that I shouldn't have been. It's the only time I delete tweets. Never out of like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. Because like, I'm going to say what I mean. Now, if I've been up too long, it's too late. I should be in bed sometimes. And my friend group, who I shouldn't let influence me as much as they do, they stay out late. And they stay at places I shouldn't be late. So from time to time, I'll fire off a tweet. And in the morning, I'm like, that's not even good. But besides that, I like to keep my tweets up. I don't know where I was going with that, but hopefully Zay Jones plays. 100 miles per hour says, we have Mike Evans / Tim Jones. We don't need him. G Grant says, just got in. You got to go another hour, G Grant, bro. My bad, bro. My bad. I always wonder, I think to myself all the time, I'm like, dang, how do these radio people talk for like 2-hour shows and 3-hour shows? There's a morning show here for 4 hours. And I'm like, how do they talk for 4 hours? And then I remember they talk for like 10 minutes at a time. Then they go 10 minutes of commercials. So really, they don't talk as much as you know. So They probably talk for a combined 30 minutes, maybe 45. So me going an hour is actually longer than most like local radio people talk. Especially if you factor in the fact that like a lot of these shows have like 4 people on them and they're all got to talk. Can you imagine that? If I had like a co-host on this show, like when I do shows with other YouTubers, like I try to be very respectful. And I try to be like, I'm not going to talk a lot because people, they've heard me talk. They haven't heard this person talk. So I'm very respectful in that aspect. If you haven't watched any of my shows with interviews, I used to do them more than I do now because they take more work than I want to do. Then I'm like that. But if I had a co-host who was here with me every week, I don't know if they'd ever get a word in. Maybe. G. Grant, just go back and watch from the beginning. It's good, I promise you. Timmy Devil says, we are last place in offensive penalties. It seems like we should be towards the top. See, you thought, you looked it up, and you were coming in ready for a penalty stat. Isaiah Jones wants to see more of Elijah Cooks. Timmy says, I think it was just a fist fight. It wasn't a fist fight. 100 miles per hour says, Ryan Stonehouse gets a lot of practice. He does. Andrew says you get better with practice. Stonehouse just has the most practice. Where's the max protect tight end chip? Where is the max protect tight end chip? Leaving rookies against top 10 edges. You're right. We talked about that on the show with the 49ers film breakdown. A lot of plays where the Jags O-line weren't in positions where they probably should have been. Like, you shouldn't have one-on-one with your tackles with Bosa and Chase Young. And you shouldn't be triple teaming Javon Hargrave. And that happened. Doorman says, where is the... Oh, yeah, I read that one. G. Grant says the guy even does film review on radio hosts. I'm an analytical thinker, G. Grant. Timmy says, nah, I'm wrong. We have 15 false starts. I think that's tied for 5th. Timmy, get out of here with those stats. All right. That's it. That's it for me. I like to go an hour. This has been an hour. I'm probably going to take, if you guys want to keep talking Jags, but without me having to have the pressure of people watching this video later, right? Like, look at the 49ers video. It did really well. So thank you guys. I mean, all the videos are doing well right now. So I appreciate you guys, and you're telling your friends. Like I tell you to tell your friends. But that's why I like Twitch, because I go on Twitch and it's less formal. We can talk Jags and really all other things over there. So, you may not have time for that, and that's completely fine. Some of you do have time for that. So I'll see you over there. My Twitch is it's not in this channel description because I got lazy. It might be. I'm all over the place. That means I got it in. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Thank you to Duval TV who gave $10. I appreciate that. Thank you to Mally's dad who gave $5. Thank you to all the channel members that were here. 100 miles per hour was here. Shay, Volkfang. Who else was here? As I scroll up, Cam Boisvert, can't forget him. 100 miles per hour brought the heat tonight, which I really appreciate. BT was here. Thank you guys. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me. I will see you guys on Victory Tuesday. Victory Tuesday at 9 p.m. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell. Follow the Twitter. Follow the Instagram. And check out the Twitch. It's fun. It's fun. I'll see you guys soon. And as always, go Jags.